Hey yo, what's good, y'all? It's that boy, Easy Millions, and I'm your host of that boy, ETV. He already know, man. We are back on NBA 2K26. And, one thing I've noticed recently in 2K24 and 26, because I did actually skip 25, but what I really started noticing in the last few 2Ks, right, is the simple fact that when it comes to our builds, there really aren't any true downsides to our builds, and the builds are becoming extremely overpowered in my opinion. Like right now I have a center that literally I can rebound, shoot, drive, and with the cap breakers I'll soon be able to have break starter and even a pretty decent ball handle. So it'll basically be a demigod all around player, right? But you just look at these things. Like we have these 7-4 builds that were shooting and destroying threes, right? Before in the day, back in the day, back when before 2K started doing this ridiculousness, most people weren't creating a 7-4 center. You want to know why? Because the downside to being 7-4 was that you were slow as molasses. Not only were you slow as molasses, most likely you weren't able to shoot because of that reasoning there. Now, also previously in 2Ks, if you were a big man, the downside to being able to shoot was you had shorter wingspans. This way, yeah, you were a shooter, but it also made it harder for you to rebound. So it was like a give and take basically when it comes to the way you built your character and how you would want them to perform on the court. But like nowadays, like now I have a center with a 7'2" wingspan that can shoot threes. So not only can I shoot, but I'm also able to rebound and protect the rim like a normal big man, even though I have the ability to shoot. Again, being overpowered on both ends of the ball without actually having a true downside. Now, I guess you could say the downside to the character would be my passing and ball handling, but due to the fact that I'm not a primary ball handler, and that as long as my point guard is here for me to give him the ball, that's not even an issue. Those don't even become issues in that regard. And then with cap breakers, again, any flaw that your my player does seem to have would easily be, taken care of or covered up by the cap breakers that we're getting. So I really just find it weird that, again, I feel like we're just 2K is just allowing us to have these OP builds without any type of real downside like how they used to be. And I think that we need to go back to that where, yes, if you want to be a shooting big, you need a shorter wingspan. This way you're not as good as a rebounder or rim protector because you're a shooter. If you wanted to be balanced, then your wingspan would be only a certain length, and you'd only have a certain rating at your three. You wouldn't have a 99-3 and 99 rebounding. You get what I'm saying? Like there would be some type of downside to that. So I think 2K kind of does need to kind of go back to that and make it so that creating builds aren't as simple and just OP as a whole, man. Now, another thing that we need to discuss, and I'm pretty sure everybody knows about this one at this point, and it's the superstar complex that every single person seems to have. Look, man, when it comes to the game and you're playing my career, yeah, you're going to drop 50. You're going to drop 50. You're going to do whatever you want. But just because you do that in my career doesn't mean you're going to come into the rec playing with everybody else and you're just going to drop 50. You're not Michael Jordan. You're not Kobe. Pass the ball. Why does everyone have to have this mentality that they're the star player? Let the game come to you. Some games you'll be the main focal point. Some games you might not. But as long as the ball is moving and the offense is flowing, then there's no issues. But everybody, and I mean, well, not everybody. You do run into some people that, hey, they're team first players, you know what I mean? But so many people in this game have a superstar complex, and it's ridiculous. Like, look, bruh, we don't need you shooting every single shot. You know what I'm saying? Every time you get the ball, it shouldn't be, hey, I got the ball, let me go ahead and start taking over the offense and shooting the ball because I don't trust my teammates. Even though you haven't even given your teammates the time to even show you that they're able to do certain things or handle the offensive load in their way or how they see fit. And also, too, when it's the last second of the shot clock, just because you don't always have to take the shot, bruh. Pass the ball, bruh. Every time you get the ball, you don't have to look and think to yourself, okay, let me dribble 25 minutes. And now that I'm boxed up, I'm clamped up, and I can't get nowhere, now I want to go ahead and pass the ball. Like, what are we doing here, bruh? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you're a 99 in my career, but so is that defender defending you now. And this isn't the AI where they just allow you to shoot over them. You feel me? Like, this is crazy. Not everyone is a superstar. Even think about it from a real life perspective. All NBA players were superstars and at some point in their life in basketball, right? Even that bench player at the end of the bench, when he was in high school, maybe even college, might have been a superstar player at that time. So at some point in time, yes, an NBA player was probably a superstar in his own right at some level of basketball, which is why he's now in the NBA. But now that he's in the NBA, we have roles. Now, some people clearly are just better than others. And again, as long as the offense is flowing, that'll naturally come to that person. But again, that person doesn't need to not only shoot the ball. He should also involve his teammates and pass the ball. Making sure you're not just having a superstar complex is important. And it'll also make the whole experience, like playing with Rex and playing with randoms, just a better experience as a whole, man. Seriously, I think that we just need to all calm down, check your egos at the door, and play team basketball, man. That's basically all I'm trying to say when it comes to that subject right there. That's really how that goes. Now, another thing about 2K that's always really been really annoying is the fact that when you have people quitting the game, it forces you to remain in the game the entire time. So, like, let's say me and my homeboy queue up as a duo and go into rec. And then when we go into the rec, that team of three decides to quit because one of their teammates comes out and sells, shoots 1 for 7, and then decides to quit on the team because he's pooping it up. And then as soon as he quits, he then pulls his other 2 teammates out the game. At this point, why is it that me and my homeboy are now forced to stay in the game and play it out? And if we decide to quit, we then get a message warning us about quitting the game. Why is this a thing? Why do we not have a system that allows us to surrender, right? It's a team of 5. I feel like if 3 people leave the game, right? If at least 3 people leave the game at any point, well, no, because if it's late into the game, then no. But if 3 people leave the game, especially in the first half, because a lot of times these people are quitting in the first quarters. So if at least 3 people on the team quit within the first half, why is there not a system that allows the team to surrender the game, get up out of there, and not have to play? Why am I forced to play a whole nother half with where half my team are bots? Now, don't get me wrong. Is it possible to still win these games? Yes, still possible, depending on who the 2 people are and then how good the other team is at defending you guys. And if 2K wants the actual bots to, go out there and hoop for once, then that's another thing. If they let the bots hoop, you might have a chance to win. We've won games where we were down a whole bunch of bots and still beat a team of 5. So it is possible. But at the end of the day, most of the time, it's going to lead to a 30-point, 20-point blowout. These people trying to drop 100 points on y'all. So why are you forcing me to stay in the game because my teammates want to rage quit for whatever reason, whether they're getting dropped off? Some people quit because they didn't get the ball for like 2 possessions in a row, or they're claiming that they're open. Then you have the people that want to come in and sell you. They come in, they go out, they shoot 1 for 7, and then drop out and then lead a game. Like, it's crazy, man. It's ridiculous. Give me and give players a system to go ahead and quit the game with no penalty, especially if over half the team is left and there's still a whole nother half of basketball, man. A dang message should pop up. When that third person leaves, a message should pop up. Hey, do you wish to continue? And the 2 people that decide to not continue should be able to leave that game with no penalty. This would make random rec a lot better when people start quitting out the game. This will make squads better when you're forcing yourself to have to squad up with other randoms. It'll just make that a whole lot better, man. Because there's no need to keep somebody and sitting them there for 30 minutes, and for those 30 minutes, they don't even have a full squad or a whole half of basketball playing with 3 AIs, and you're a duo. And sometimes you playing 3/4 as a duo with 3 AIs, depending on when your teammates actually quit. Because I'm telling you, if they come out and they get done up, or you go down, 2-15 in the first quarter, they quitting, man. As a matter of fact, I'm being generous. If you go down 2-10, they quitting. People start quitting on you in the first quarter. So please, 2K, can y'all give us some type of system to go ahead and back us out of there and let us go ahead and move on and get on about our day, man. But let me know how y'all feel, man. Do y'all think that the 2K builds are getting too OP with no real downside to them? Also, do you agree with everyone having an ego superstar complex and just agree that we just need to play good team basketball? And last but not least, how do y'all feel about them introducing a surrender system for people quitting in these rec games or online games in general, so that you're not forced to sit there and play out a game that you just definitely don't want to play, man? Let me know down in them comments, and let's get a conversation started, man. But until then, I'm going to leave y'all off with the rest of this gameplay. And boy, oh boy, it was a comeback of the century, as y'all can see. But I hope y'all enjoy that, man. But as always, please like, comment, subscribe, follow, share, become a supporter, and catch me streaming on Facebook Gaming and Twitch at DatBoyETV. Now, catch you on the next one. I'm out. Peace.
He probably gonna lose like that anyway.
Yeah, I'm about to come out. That's about to be a background game.